Namaha. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare
We're back again.
Yes.
And this time, hopefully, the phone will not fill up and cut us off.
Yeah, it ran out of storage because I got too many selfies. Seems.
Okay, what are we doing? Where are we at?
Canto 4, Chapter 18, Text 25.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
All right. Text 25. The trees made a calf out of the banyan tree, and thus they derive milk in the form of many delicious juices. The mountains transformed the Himalayas into a calf, and they milked a variety of minerals into a pot made of the peaks of hills. Text 26. The planet Earth supplied everyone his respective food. During the time of King Prithu, the earth was fully under the control of the king. Thus all the inhabitants of the earth could get their food supply by creating various types of calves and putting their particular types of milk in various pots. Purport. This is evidence that the Lord supplies food to everyone. As confirmed in the Vedas, Eko Bahunam Yo Vidahati Kaman. Although the Lord is one, He is supplying all necessities to everyone through the medium of the planet Earth. There are different varieties of living entities on different planets, and they all derive their eatables from their planets in different forms. On the basis of these descriptions, how can one assume that there is no living entity on the moon?
Wow. Okay.
Every moon is earthly, being composed of the 5 elements. Every planet produces different types of food according to the needs of its residents. According to the Vedic Sastras, it is not true that the moon does not produce food or that no living entity is living there. Prabhupada stressing this point about the moon. But also before that I thought it's interesting that the earth was described as a male.
No.
No?
Yeah, I saw you hesitated when it said, where is it? It says the earth supplied everyone his respective food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I misunderstood.
But I picked up on that. I mean, that's
Forgive
pretty good,
me.
isn't it? How attentive I am.
So let's fast forward to what I was going to also say about the moon and Prabhupada being adamant that basically, yeah, the moon is not some barren, dark place that the Americans and the Russians.
Well, the Indians and now the Chinese are.
I was going to say that.
Oh, sorry.
Jeepers. Yeah. But anyway, it's interesting because Prabhupada's, if you read the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, one thing that I always liked when I saw that and I tried to keep applying it was there's a point that Prabhupada makes in the it's a very long introduction, but he makes a point along the way that even if you don't accept Krishna as God, even if you don't accept some higher power, this, that, I'm paraphrasing, he says just approach this book and read this book as if you're accepting all that's been said on a theoretical level. You know, even if it's not in the heart, and I'm not a devotee and I'm not, that's okay. His point is because, and I really liked it, made it really intellectual for me, because it was almost, it's like he's saying, you'll always be closed to what's being said, the message, and you won't get it if you don't at least theoretically suspend belief. And if you think about it, when you read books, novels, because before coming to Krishna consciousness I used to read a lot, like different detective novels and sci-fi and English literature, you know, all that. but you get into it. It wasn't like I read it and mocked any of it. I was there with the characters, with what was going on. I never read it in a skeptical way. I was right there and I lived that whole story, everything. And so I really like that. And because there are times, obviously, why not? You're not like, well, speaking for myself, it's not you're on 100% perfected level. So it was always a nice reminder. I liked reading that, just because when I did that, it actually increased my faith. Because when I did that, I accepted, wow, on a theoretical level, this is all true. Krishna is God, and he's saying all these things, and there are modes, and there are this, and there are that, and it really lifted up, my faith actually, rather than just going on the sentiment or the heart level, because I'm not there on the heart level. But I can be there. So that's what's occurring for me. The reason I'm saying long-winded point is here. Here regarding the moon, I don't know. I know I'd rather side with Prabhupada than all these wackos that think they've gone to the moon. Controversial way to say it. Sorry. And I'll be honest, when I accept totally purports like this, because Prabhupada's so like adamant, and so for him it's a complete reality what he's saying. There is a moon planet, there are people on the moon, there is life on the moon, not as we know it, literally, and it is extremely luxurious, and it's not, and so if I just allow myself to believe this based on Prabhupada's convictions, it just increases
faith.
Yeah, and just you think, okay, because I can either accept the convictions of NASA or Prabhupada. Someone's got the because I don't know myself, so I can either go one way or the other way, or just sit on the fence. And what's the point of that? There's some ambulance or something.
That is the sound of a fire engine in America.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, so that's for me, because Prabhupada is so adamant, so if I use that logic that he says to use when you approach the Bhagavad Gita, that just theoretically just go with it. It's very interesting. It lifts everything in terms of the sastra for you. It really does.
Yeah, I think the term he uses, suspend your disbelief and just imagine for a moment that Krishna is God. And I always compare it to the trying on of shoes. That's the analogy that I give, that when you go to a store, you have to take off your old shoes to try on a new pair. And it doesn't mean you have to buy the new pair. It doesn't mean you even have to like them. But you do have to take off your old shoes to try on the new ones. But don't worry, the old shoes are there to put on if you don't like it, So that's the way I always found it interesting. But nice point. Okay, so where are we now? We're at text number 27, correct? Okay. My dear Vidura, chief of the Kurus, in this way King Prithu and all the others who subsist on food created different types of calves and milked out their respective eatables. Thus they received their various foodstuffs, which were symbolized as milk. So it's nice because actually we're meant to understand that, I was going to say that this is more of an analogy rather than an actual thing that someone turned into a calf and was actually milk. But I'm just wondering if part of it is true, but it's not like it was milk coming out, but it was actually, anyway, let's read on and see. Next verse is 28. Thereafter King Prithu was very satisfied with planet Earth, for she sufficiently supplied all food to various living entities. Thus he developed an affection for the planet Earth, just as if she were his own daughter. Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes I find these things a little bit like, well, it sounds like he was motivated. He wasn't going to offer her respect or treat her like his daughter until she acted the way she was meant to act. Now, the thing is that he wanted her to act the way she was meant to act for everybody else's well-being and benefit. So that's also there. And also because constitutionally she was meant to be acting a certain way and she wasn't. And he's a person in charge, so he's meant to ensure that that happens. So it's all of these things together is kind of yeah, it kind of makes you see that sometimes we have different characters and natures that need to be engaged at different times, and it's not all one, like everybody just has to be like this or everybody just has to be like that. Text number 29. After this, the king of all kings, Maharaj Prithu, leveled all rough places on the surface of the globe by breaking up the hills with the strength of his bow. By his grace, the surface of the globe almost became flat. Okay. Purport. Generally, the mountainous and hilly portions of the earth are made flat by the striking of thunderbolts. Generally, this is the business of King Indra of the heavenly planets. But King Prithu, an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, did not wait for King Indra to break up the hills and mountains, but did so himself by using his strong bow. Now, of course, it says by using his strong bow. That doesn't mean cider, for those of you who are in England. So, very interesting. So it seems that prior to this, the land was very mountainous, and then King Prithu himself leveled it out. And my understanding is the reason that he leveled it out was so that the earth could then produce grains and vegetables and different things, and then whatever came out of the mountains that he leveled, the minerals, the rocks and stones or whatever, then that also could be engaged and used, just as we heard all these different things. So, but pretty powerful that just by using his bow he could level mountains. I mean, that's a pretty darn powerful bow. Thus, it is a strong bow.
Text 30. To all the citizens of the state, King Prithu was as good as a father. Thus he was visibly engaged in giving them proper subsistence and proper employment for subsistence. After levelling the surface of the globe, he earmarked different places for residential quarters, inasmuch as they were desirable. Text 31. In this way, the king founded many types of villages, settlements, and towns, and built forts, residences for cowherdsmen, stables for the animals, places for the royal camps, mining places, agricultural towns, and mountain villages. Text 32. Before the reign of King Prithu, there was no planned arrangement for different cities, villages, pasturing grounds, etc. Everything was scattered, and everyone constructed his residential quarters according to his own convenience. However, from the time of King Prithu, plans were made for towns and villages.
Interesting. So New York City, you owe it all to King Prithu.
Purport. From this statement, it appears that town and city planning is not new, but has been coming down since the time of King Prithu. In India, we can see regular planning methods evident in very old cities. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many descriptions of such ancient cities. Even 5,000 years ago, Lord Krishna's capital, Dwarka, was well planned, and similar other cities, Mathura and Hastinapur, now New Delhi, were also well planned. Thus, the planning of cities and towns is not a modern innovation, but was existing in bygone ages.
Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 18th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Prithu Maharaj Milks the Earth Planet.
Nice point. Nice point about a leader providing shelter, because at the end of the day, that's what we need. And he's providing literal shelter. You know, in this day and age, when you walk down, we're in New York previously, living in London, it's quite a shame that these countries that profess to be free democracies, you know, advanced, intelligent, but there are people living in less than ideal safe shelters, if you can call them that. You know, it seems like a leader in the form of Prithu provides what you need, make sure, as it were, you've got food on the table, you know, grains sufficient. Oh my good God.
Well,
sorry. Sorry, it's one of those.
That was both.
Yeah, so that could have got really embarrassing because I would have thrown this thing in the East River. Well, there's bugs there.
Well, there are bugs everywhere already on your skin, everybody. Just so you know that. They're already there. You
So
just can't see
we're
them.
just going to quickly say before we get attacked by the bugs that for me, that's why I'm expecting a leader to make sure that I, as well as my fellow people in the world, in a country that's at least that I'm in, have sufficient means to get food and to have safe shelter, you know, safe shelter, and really, what else are people looking for? You know, that's the basic thing that you want. You want to feel safe in a home or whatever, and you don't want to be scavenging or feeling I don't have enough food or I can't afford to eat. You know, this is very sad, and it shouldn't be happening in so-called, like I said, modern
first world countries.
Yeah, so yeah, it's nice to see, and nice to see the planning, which means there's some thought pattern going on there about how to ensure people are safely, sheltered. And I'm sure that they didn't have the annoying bureaucracy that you get now in a local council when you put a planning permission in.
Well, I mean, you don't know. To make sure that things are done right, it takes sometimes people to be a little bit annoying. You want this, but no, that doesn't fit in with the plan. That's going to probably always be there, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the challenge. Maybe not everyone wanted towns and villages. Maybe not everyone wanted the earth leveled. Maybe there were mountain dwellers. This is the challenge, that there are different types of people perpetually in, Hare Krishna. Okay, so you had anything else you wanted to add?
Thank you for watching, everybody.
So we just finished the chapter. That was chapter 18. So next session we're going to start chapter 19, which is the beginning of one of my favorite pastimes in the 4th canto. Prithu Maharaj, it's called King Prithu's 100 horse sacrifices. And this is brilliant. Over, I think, 2 chapters. Yeah, it's really so many powerful lessons. So please tune in, read Bhagavatam. Thank you for being here. And we wish you all the best. Be Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.